You're part of that NXT movement, and really in the last couple of months, a lot of the other guys have been brought up. But you've been brought up for a couple of years now. What was it like changing from NXT and moving on to the main roster?
NXT was actually a pretty amazing experience on its own, just because I went from wrestling in these tiny, I don't know, church basements and bars and stuff like that to finally go into NXT, the Performance Center, which is this incredible facility where if you want to train to be a professional wrestler and to do this for a living, there's no place like it. Like I said, I first started training in a barn, so it's quite the upgrade there. And NXT is set up in a way that it'll prepare you for when you come out on Raw on that stage and you make your debut on Raw and SmackDown, and everything in NXT is to prepare you for that moment. And I was in NXT for about 6-7 months, but it really did prepare me for that, which is why on my first night on Raw I laid out John Cena, which is not a bad way to start, So, but I wouldn't have been able to do that without NXT.
Talk about that for a second, because there's certainly pressure when you come onto Monday Night Raw and you go after one of the biggest stars, not just at the time, but of all time. Did you feel any pressure?
I wish I could say I did, but to be honest, and this might seem a little cocky, but hey, I guess that's who I am. I felt very confident in my abilities, and I felt like when I stepped foot in that ring with John Cena on my first night on Raw, that's exactly where I belong. That to me, I belong at the top, regardless of how long I spent in NXT before. Like you said, I've been doing this for 16 years now, and I thought there was no better way for me to kick things off on Raw and in WWE than to go after John Cena. So to me, it made perfect sense.